welcome to your 10th elimination on Survivor TTS. And welcome, jury. Jury, you are seeing our top five. Our top five left on Survivor TTS is Emily Weems, Robert Vetter, Matthew Schwartz, Brett Rose, and Zoe Soeteres. Also, jury, you missed an update on Monday, which is that I got a dog. His name is Petey. He is the world's sweetest, most angelic little baby angel. And I highly recommend everyone get themselves a little Petey because all he wants to do is snuggle and sleep and eat his treats.
That's incredible.
And when he has to go outside, he does a little dance and he does a little spin. He spins around.
Oh.
The cutest thing in the world. So we're going to do things slightly differently tonight. And I'm going to be posing some questions to all of our top five. So let's just have a bit of a conversation. Feel free to chime in if you have something to offer. And let's see what little gems we can uncover from these remaining contestants left on Survivor. My first question to our top five. Who do you feel is the most strategic player left in the game?
Everyone left. Everyone left. Everyone left.
Why do you say that, Robert?
I don't know. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, like, everyone else in the top five promised not to watch my confessional this week, but I think especially this week there has been a lot of really there's been a lot of really big stuff going on, big things going on. And I mean, in past weeks too. I mean, and if you've been keeping up, for those of the jury who were eliminated before the merge, I think literally every single jury vote after the merge has been a blindside. And so, I mean, yeah, everyone left in the top five simply because we managed to not get blindsided this far. But like, for the jury, raise your hand if you were blindsided by a post-merge vote. Raise your hand if you were blindsided by a post-merge vote. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not picture Jordan Coast. Like, it is, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I have to say.
You know, I would say that strategy, the word strategy, who's the most strategic? All of us are equal level strategic, but we're doing different things about it. Some people, you know, yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
So, all right, top five. Are none of you going to answer my question and give me the name of someone, or are you all going to say that?
I'll say it in my confessional.
I'll say an answer if no one else will.
Go for it.
I'll also say an answer.
I'll say an answer. Look, we all know that. I feel like it's been pretty clear at this point. I feel like Matthew has been a very big strategic threat in this game.
Definitely.
However,
Matthew Schwartz.
Yeah.
I would be completely lying if I said I haven't made every single one of my moves alongside him for the entire game. So I'm going to throw myself under the bus too here a little bit because I'm not going to discredit the moves that I've made either. And I feel like genuinely we have made very big strategic moves in this game. And I feel like that's put targets on our backs because I know every single person here tonight has had some kind of strategic talk with every other single person left in the game. There's only 5 of us. There's only so many people you can talk to and only so many moves you can make. Mm-hmm. Matthew and I have known for weeks. We've both been targets ever since the merge. You know,
everything we have done has been in the name of self-preservation. I will say that.
Yes.
I will say that about the top 5. There has
everyone has made moves to help further their own games.
There has not been an unprovoked blindside by an external threat.
I will also say, you know, like I know I've been playing big moves and it's been pretty obvious, but the moves were all, yes, they were in my self-interest, but it was also to get this particular final 5 to be the final 5. I wanted big Red Scare representation. I wanted to be with Emily. I wanted to be with Brett, Robert, and Zoe, and I made it happen. So here we are. And that's just the name of the game. I
will second that. Like, even though Matthew definitely is quite the strategic player, and admittedly, I have done some stuff I'm not proud of. And I think everyone else here has too. he fought for us. I almost got eliminated a while ago, and Matthew made sure that that didn't happen. So I think that even though Matthew has been the most strategic player, that we do all owe him something. I think we all owe each other something.
So
which is
that's
so
us.
tough.
That's us. I don't appreciate you necessarily. I don't appreciate you saying that at all. And the thing is, the fact of the matter is that I made my moves out loud in a way that everyone can see. Zoe, I also think that you've played an equally strategic game where you have played a nice person. And it's not necessarily that it's not all true and that we're not friends at the end of the day, because I think that you and I have had some of the realest conversation there has been. But also, your nice attitude towards me is also part of your strategy. And it's your strategy with everyone else. And so, like, yes, you're also being like, we love him, we need him, blah, 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 we all owe him something. Girl, that you know exactly what that does in the relationship of the game to me. So, like, what you saying that, it's hard for me not to be like, oh, does everyone not see her strategy too? And I just want to point that out.
No, admittedly, that is my strategy. I don't deny that. Like, I have made an effort to be nice to you guys for a multitude of reasons, one of which being that I'm a freshman, that I want to make friends, another of which being that I know it's a strategy and that it's worked for me so far. That, you know, being nice to you guys, being on your sides has gotten me this far in the game. And I admit that.
I wouldn't have brought you this far too. We wouldn't have gotten this far together too if I didn't believe a lot of the niceness, and I didn't believe that we could work well together, and I didn't believe in you to some degree. Like, it was also because of your honesty and because of your kindness and your niceness that I was like, we cannot lose Zoe, and I was a huge advocate for you. So I think that you should also remember that, you know?
Well, for sure. And I mean, that's why I said that. I understand why it came across as suspicious. And, you know, again, I'm not going to pretend like there isn't something behind, you know, niceness, but I am that way in real life, you know, and that's, I think, where the strategy, if anything, that is where the strategy came from, is that that's how I am as a person. And I know that, you know, that works for me as a person, and that, you know, has made me a happy person. And it worked in the game too. And it got me far in the game. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not going to lie about it. Yeah, I did use that quality about myself to get this far. And I still think that we've all been, you know, strategic, and, as I said, done stuff that we're not proud of. So have I. But I would still stick to my guns and say that I'm happy with this final five. I'm thankful to how you guys have helped me get far, and I'm also proud of myself for getting this far. And I know that, you know, I acted a certain way in order to do it.
And you're going to get farther because you have immunity this week.
Yeah, jury, for your information, Zoe did win our challenge this week. It was a theater trivia challenge, and Zoe came out on top. Wow, thank you all so much for your candor. I hope more of that will be coming throughout the rest of this chat. So, okay, my next question is, and I'm gonna start. I'd love to hear from Emily. I haven't heard from you yet tonight, so I'd love you to answer this question. Then we can bring in everyone else if they'd like. But what are you basing tonight's vote on?
Ever since 5:30 hit, Slack messages have been sent, and I've had to make a really hard decision tonight. There were some messages where I was tempted to maybe leave my alliance and go against someone who I've been with since the beginning. And I really thought about it, and I had to have lots of conversations with many different people about where my vote would be going tonight. And I guess that's all I'll say for now, but my vote tonight is definitely on just like who I trust and who I've trusted the most just since the beginning.
You said the Slack was blowing up, right? So I'm curious, and I'd love to hear from all of you if you have anything to share on this, but has the fact that all your interactions have had to take place over Slack, how has that changed the game for you as opposed to you being together in person? Do you feel like that's changed the way you've been able to play the game? Has it made it harder? Has it made it easier? Have you wished for other opportunities for action? Talk to me about that.
You can be in one chat with one person and be planning their elimination in another chat at the same time. It's a gift. Like,
we have the ability to screenshot our chats and send them to other people. You can call shit. You can call bullshit because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you have a way to perfectly lie to someone or perfectly tell the truth, and there's no hiding from anything. I myself have been screenshotted before and sent earlier in this game.
I've been screenshotted and sent today, and I know that. The fact of the matter is that it's also just easier to lie, frankly. It's easier to write down something that is blatantly not the truth, and I do not have to look you in the eyes and say it. But I do have the balls to look everyone in the eye and say the truth that I need to say, and my truth, if it needs to be brought up today, will be brought up.
Yeah, Antonia, I mean, honestly, I hate using Slack. I'm not gonna lie, not my favorite thing. I don't know. I have like a thing about the way that we use media and social media, and being conscious about that. And I feel like in this game, I've done some things that are not morally, that are very much against my morals on social media, and, you know, talking behind people's backs and sending screenshots. And that's not stuff that I like to practice in my real life. I just feel like this whole game has kind of made me question like who I am. And part of it has been what's gone on in the Slack, because I think I've done stuff that I didn't really anticipate that I would do. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself when I think about, you know, some of the stuff that I've said behind people's backs, because I don't really think that's okay in real life. So that's why I kind of hate the Slack.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Kathy, because I saw your popcorn and I just couldn't help myself, because this is the drama that I'm here for. Let's continue. All right.
I would like to say
Brett?
Yeah.
Go for
it. So I actually feel the exact opposite of Zoe about the way I've used Slack in this game. You know, I've played very much the type of game where I have formed genuine connections with people and genuinely been invested in their lives. You know, it's been a whole new process of meeting new people and making new friends. But at the end of the day, I can separate that from the game, and I can own that I've lied to several people sitting on this jury. And I'm not going to take any of that back. I know what I did. You know what I did. I'm going to own it. Like, that has been my game. And I'm sorry if that hurt anyone personally, those lies. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still standing and I'm still kicking and I'm still in the running. So I did what I had to do. But I don't feel bad about it necessarily, because it is part of the game. I do miss getting to talk with people sometimes still about, you know, just genuine things. So, you know, it's kind of this weird balance between the two. And it's kind of trying to decide, you know, how much of this do I want to like perfect the craft of cyberbullying versus like, you know, just making friends with people. Because I feel like I'm pretty good at both, honestly.
So Brett has just weighed in that, you know, voting people off, it's a strategy, it's part of the game, it's inherent to it, and he doesn't feel bad about that because that's something that has to be done. I'm curious, are the eliminations taking a toll on anyone else?
Okay, I have something to say. I know that I gave that whole speech about how I don't give a fuck that I've gotten votes. And then immediately afterward, 2 people tried to send me home. Last week, that was not an invitation to try to vote me off. But I'm still here, which is like, woohoo. But I guess, I don't know.
A lot of it is about compartmentalizing what I'm doing on this, and then also realizing the point of the game is either eliminate or be eliminated. If I'm not gonna lie, someone else is going to. You can't operate morally in an immoral system, or ethically in an unethical system. The system is not set up for people to be nice to each other and honest with each other all the way. And what fun is that on Zoom or on YouTube? So let me get that straight. And so, yeah, these eliminations, like, I will say that last week, particularly tough and emotional and very sad. But, you know, it is a part of the game, and every single week I'm just grateful to get to play another round.
As you can see, there are many I'm the only Dynamite left in the final 5, which means I did participate in voting for some fellow Dynamites at times, and those were the hardest eliminations to do, just because, like, those are who I played games with. Those were my first teammates and my first challengers. And so, and especially like last week in the elimination, like I had grown like really close, I think, to Camille and Grace, like as a team and as a group. And I, didn't expect the double elimination. And, maybe I would have voted differently if I knew that it was a double elimination. And so those have definitely been the hardest and the ones that have made me feel, definitely sad to see people go. Just because now I'm left standing with all red, and it's very scary and intimidating.
That was great. Emily, you just answered my next question. Thank you. All right. Sorry. Let me get the last white cheddar off my fingers. Great. That was really cute. Okay. So this last question, I'm going to go around and I'm going to hit all 5 of you and you all must answer. Who is your biggest competition left in the game?
My biggest competition is Matthew Schwartz. We are in an alliance together, but he is the strongest player. He is definitely my biggest competition. But he's also my closest friend and ally. So that makes it really difficult. And that, is some of just the decisions that I was having to think about tonight, and it makes it really hard.
Robert, who is your biggest competition left in the game?
Also Matthew, because we've all been in the game with Matthew. Matthew knows everything about Survivor. I'm always texting Matthew being like, what's a jury? How does immunity work in this? Like what are the basic tenets of Survivor? And so and he's a strong player. He won an immunity challenge after the merge. That is, the mark of a strong player. He's very personable. He makes a very good impression on the screen. And that's nerve-wracking for other people who are also competing with him on that screen. And then I would think, and I have another biggest competition. Honestly, I think myself. I don't know. I've just been kind of dealing with a lot of weirdness and figuring out ways to overcome that. That's what I'll say.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Next up, Matthew Schwartz. Who is your biggest competition left in the game?
Well, I think there are 2 different definitions to competition. There's one of who is going to be the cause that I leave, and who can I absolutely not beat in the end. I think the person who could try to get me out the hardest is Zoe. And so in terms of competition in this immediate moment, the person who is my biggest competition at this moment is fully Zoe. But in terms of the long game, in terms of the jury, I have not made the jury very happy. I have not been playing a game to please the jury. I've been playing a game to get the top 5 to be these 5 people. And so I do not think I would pit well against anybody else here, particularly Emily, who has a strong Dynamite group represented. And and then particularly Zoe, who's been able to form strong friendships with everyone. So I think that in terms of me making it to the next round, Zoe is my biggest step in the way. I don't think she wants to see me be in the next round. And in terms of being at the end, who could easily beat me? Emily or Zoe?
All right, Brett Rose, you're up next. Who is your biggest competition left in the game?
I feel like I have multiple answers to this question too. I feel like Matthew, just inherently, because we've played since day 1 together, and we've been on the same side of every single vote. And I can say the same about Zoe, honestly. We've also voted together every single time since the very beginning. And, it's been kind of a struggle on trying to figure out what I have carved in as my own niche, as my own player. I definitely still have things that I feel like make me a target. I have won the most individual immunities so far. So I feel like that puts a target on my back as like a challenge threat, at the end, would someone want to take me with them to that possible final challenge and, you know, possibly lose to me and have me send them home. I just don't know. So I feel like, you know, Matthew is definitely a threat as far as similarities in the games we've played. But I feel like Zoe as well is a threat, similar to the reasons that Matthew said. I feel like she's just made a lot of friends, and I feel like I've made a lot of enemies. So why give them the option to vote for someone they like?
Thank you, Brett. I appreciate everyone's honesty. Zoe, you're up. Our final competitor for this question. Who is your biggest competition left in the game?
Okay, so I have a few things to say. One is I'm just gonna be totally upfront here. I know I'm going home next week because I went up against Matthew. Just fully honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't because I'm tired of it and I'm sick of it. And I know everyone knows. So I did that, and I did it because as much as I love and respect Matthew as a person, and Matthew, you know that's true. It's not about that. It's that I know that you have a lot of power in the game. And I knew that after our conversation that we had, that next round, there is a strong possibility that if I don't win immunity, that I will be the one going home. And I know that you have a lot of control over that. So that is why I did that. So I know for a fact that if I don't win immunity, I will be going home next week. So I would say that I think that I'm my biggest competition because I think I sent myself home essentially on accident.
Jury, thank you so much for being privy to this conversation. You may now turn your videos off as we get down to the vote. We are down to the top 5 on Survivor TTS. Remaining are Emily Weems, Robert Vetter, Matthew Schwartz, Brett Rose, and Zoe Soeteres. Tonight, we will be voting one person off. It is time to set another contestant adrift. When I call your name, please private message me the name of the contestant that you feel deserves to be eliminated tonight. We're going to start the night off with Zoe. Next up, Matthew. Then we have Robert, Emily, and Brett. The votes are in, and here they are, to determine who will be in the top 4 of Survivor TTS. First vote is for Robert. We have a second vote for Robert. We have a vote for Zoe.
Just me.
We have a third for Robert. And one final vote for Robert. Robert, my dear, my angel, my muse.
Yes.
I am so sorry to tell you that this means that you have been eliminated from Survivor TTS.
I know. Yeah, no. To whoever didn't vote for me, thank you. But I did ask you all to vote for me this week, so I don't know what that's about. Can I say something?
Yeah, of course. You get absolutely.
I was really hoping the elimination would come out like this because recently I just feel like I've kind of hit a plateau. And this weekend I really thought about it. I was like, I'm not playing a good game. Over the last 3 weeks, there have been pushes to get me sent home. You know, I'm not gonna go all the way to the end if I make it to the end. And I mean, I thought about it. I was like, what does winning Survivor TTS even mean to me? I've never watched Survivor. I didn't audition for Survivor TTS. So I really thought about it, and I was like, all of these 4 people want it so much more than me. So why am I here still? And so I think that's really what it came down to. So I was planning on quitting actually this week. Before the challenge, I was like, you know what? Unless I win the challenge, I'm gonna quit. And then I did poorly enough in the challenge that I didn't have to quit. That's how it's been. Yeah, I had fun. I really love you all, top 5. Thank you so much for voting for me. Zoe, I bet you were the one that voted for yourself.
I will say for my part, Robert, I really appreciated your presence. When you schooled everyone on reality TV, I was here for it. You were a very welcome presence. A lot of fun, very funny. I also will remember you affectionately roasting your competitor's team name, Dynamites. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate pointing out the fact that Dynamites are not blue, they're red, which was fun for all of us. Not to accidentally roast the Dynamites, but I appreciated the humor. Your comedy arts background really served you in the competition, and it was very welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, you may now leave the Zoom.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Robert.
Love you
Bye,
so
Robert.
All right, you guys got to start being funnier now. I mean, I'm serious. Like, you really got to start delivering it. Well, that was difficult and gross, but now we have our top 4 in Survivor TTS. Emily Weems, Matthew Schwartz, Brett Rose, and Zoe Soeteres. And that brings us to the end of our 10th elimination on Survivor TTS. Until next time. Welcome, top 4, to your 11th Immunity Challenge.
Oh, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Oh my god.
3, 4.
Where are all the edge pieces?
No, this is not how it was supposed to be.